loss functions. Loss functions play a pivotal role in the training of machine learning models. They are mathematical functions that quantify the difference between the predicted values by the model and the actual values in the training data. This difference is commonly known as loss or error. The primary objective of a machine learning algorithm during the training phase is to minimize this loss, which essentially means improving the accuracy of predictions made by the model. Common loss functions include mean square error, or MSE, which calculates the mean square difference between predictions and actuals. There is also mean absolute error, MAE, which calculates the mean absolute difference. Hinge Loss combines MSE and MAE to provide a balanced approach. Log loss, or cross-entropy loss, is used in classification tasks to measure the dissimilarity between predicted and true class probabilities. Hinge loss, used in binary classification, promotes correct classification with a margin of error. This tool will help us understand some common loss functions. Let's explore it. Here, we have a list of some common loss functions that users can select. For the selected loss function, users can see its description, mathematical formula, and a simple example to demonstrate the data calculation. For instance, if we select mean square error, which is selected by default, we can read about this loss function here. And this says the mean square error, MSE, loss function is defined as the average of square differences between the actual and predicted value. It's the most commonly used regression loss function. Next, we see the formula for mean square error, which is the average of all error squared values. Here, we have a sample data sheet with the actual y values, the predicted y hat values, and in the next column, we have y minus y hat, also known as the error or loss. Then we also have its squared values here. Finally, the mean is calculated by summing the last column and dividing it by 6, which is the number of elements. This way, we can quickly learn and review various loss functions and how they are calculated. Now, if we select mean absolute error by selecting it from this dropdown, we can read its description, see the formula that includes the absolute difference between the actual y values and the predicted y hat values. This is followed by the calculation sheet showing y, y hat, error, absolute, and finally the average of the last column as mean absolute error. We can look at some other loss functions like Hinge loss, log loss, and hinge loss, along with their descriptions, formulas, and sample data sheets. This covers how this tool can be used to understand some common loss functions. Feel free to explore these loss functions to get familiar with them so that you can use them in modeling the neural and deep learning networks.